Welcome to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt. Today, we're reviewing a whiskey that I have never tried before. It's a bourbon whiskey. It's from Kentucky, and it is Green River Foolproof. I've never ever worn a white t-shirt on camera before, so if the entire video is me from here up, it's because my nipples made their ADHD whiskey debut, and I didn't like it. Speaking of debuts, Green River Foolproof has never graced the lips of this man. I do have a Green River single barrel that is barrel strength that's being released to patrons on November 1st, but when it comes to the batched version of the Green River Foolproof, never tasted it. Never have I ever. Ta-da! America. Green River Foolproof is a product of Owensboro, Kentucky and the Green River Distillery. It's a sour mash bourbon whiskey, ringing in at 118.1 proof. It says DSP KY10 on the label, which means that this Green River Distillery was the 10th distillery to receive its distilleriness in Kentucky. A legacy renewed. Founded by John W. McCulloch in 1885 as Kentucky's 10th oldest distillery, like I said. See? I'm history before history is told. Green River was celebrated for quality and became known as the whiskey without regrets, before being lost to history after Prohibition. Damn that Prohibition, what a biatch. Green River Foolproof is a small batch of select barrels blended and bottled at barrel strength. Non-chill filtered, so you know it's got no chill. It offers a robust flavor profile that can be enjoyed neat, on the rocks, or in your favorite cocktail. This mother bugger only cost me like 60 bucks. What in the world? She didn't even charge me for this. I bought this, and this, and this. A Buffalo Trace kosher straight rye, a Buffalo Trace kosher rye recipe, and a Green River Foolproof. But on the receipt, there's a Buffalo Trace kosher rye recipe and 2 Buffalo Trace kosher straight ryes. Whoops. But I do think that this was like 60 bucks on the shelf. I think it was $59.99. Pretty sure it was $59.99. It's extremely budgetable bourbon. It's a beautiful bottle. It's shaped like a horseshoe. If you look down its gullet, shling. Now do it with your left. Now do it with your left. Now everybody do it with your left. Caramel apple sucker. Immediate caramel apple sucker. This whiskey is definitely begging for a bit of warmth. Even though it looks like I'm strangling the life out of it, I'm not. I'm simply trying to warm it with my hands. You warm up. You warm up or else. There have been some chilly nights here in Colorado recently, and the garage has dipped below perfect whiskey tasting temperature. If you ever feel like your whiskey's a bit chilly, or if for some reason you don't get a good nose off of your whiskey, chances are warming it up a little bit could make all the difference. Jared at Barrel King, he put hot water in the bottom of a sink and then put the Glencairn in the water with the whiskey in it, and it was warmed up so fast. He's so smart. That water conducted heat into that glass like Jared from Barrel King conducts magnificent whiskey out into the world, seemingly effortlessly. Back for a nose? Oh yeah. Brown sugar and caramel apple sucker. Just sitting here warming my whiskey. Just sitting here warming my whiskey. It's changing from a sour apple candy into like one of those apple dishes with the crumbs on top. Apple crisp. Yep. Damn, I'm good at this. There's like a bit of fermented fruit on here. When you were in college, did you ever take a bunch of fruit and throw it into a cooler and pour a bunch of different liquors and liqueurs in there with it? And then you brought that cooler to a party where there's like a bonfire and fist fights? It smells like that cooler after you've been partying for the weekend and all the ice melted, and then that fruity liqueur combination started to warm up a bit. Somebody left the lid open. Friggin' Cody again. Cody just doesn't know when to stop being Cody. Green River Foolproof. down the hatch. Wow. Ooh. It's doing some stuff. It's transitioning. It's changing before me. I won't look. The palate almost mimicked the nose completely. It started off super sweet and then got kind of appley and then a little bit funky and then a little bit fermenty and then went out with a sour twist. Wow. The palate movement on here is pretty unique. It almost, instead of going from front to back, in this case, it weirdly is taking like the elevator up. It starts on the tip of the tongue, and then as it moves back, it's not just moving back, it's rising up. It's like it clicked top 4 on the old elevator and hit doors close before that one guy could get in. You know the guy. Oh, sorry, Cody. You'll catch the next one. Ding. But that's a very weird sensation, the way that it sort of climbs up to the roof of your mouth while also moving its way back. It's like a 3-dimensional palette, and that is pretty cool. It's not super youthful, it's also not super aged. I would say that if it were on a teeter-totter and this side is youthful and this side is aged, it would be like teetering towards the youthful side. Although it doesn't get really grassy, it does have a little bit of a younger distillate funk. The youthful qualities aren't turning me off, but they're also not super de-duper turning me on. I'm enjoying the flavor profile, I'm enjoying the palate movement. It is mildly oily. The finish, although long lasting, is a bit of a puckerer. It's got a bit of a puckering effect. There is no age statement on the bottle, but I would probably peg that blend around the 5 to 6 year mark. These reviews are strictly based on taste alone, and I do not factor the price of the bottle into the reviews. However, I must say that for the quality of this whiskey and the fact that it's a foolproof offering, the $60 I paid for this bottle is like, I don't know, kind of like a relief. Even though $60 is still a lot of money for whiskey, when this stuff is 8, 9, and 10 years old, just like New Riff, super pumped to see what's coming out of there and what that aged distillate tastes like. As far as the Green River Foolproof goes, I believe that this Green River Foolproof is a very good bourbon, and today Green River Foolproof receives a score from me of 7.55. Very good. It is a very good bourbon whiskey. If we factor in the price point, that's when we're talking business. Not a ton of foolproof offerings from Kentucky on the shelf for $60 nowadays. Let me know in the comments below what you think of Green River Foolproof, and also if you've had any of the single barrels and if you've enjoyed those more. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't. Subscribe if you're not. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey. Like I always say, keep your head in the clouds but your mind on doing something ridiculous and potentially catastrophic, like wearing a white t-shirt on a video with lights shining on it while it's recording when you plan on releasing this video to the entire internet, because you have no idea what it looks like. If you look at the screen you're on, you're just a tiny little fat blip, but you can't tell whether or not you're showing nip.